right. Find that comfortable seated position. Allow the eyes to be softly shut. Start to check in with your breath. The inhales and exhales come long, but let them come easy. Not trying to achieve enlightenment right in this moment, just finding our breath. Desire. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Long exhale out the mouth. Deep inhale in through the nose. Hold the breath at the top. Sip in a little more air in through the mouth. Open the mouth, let it out. One more huge inhale in through the nose. Hold the breath. Sip in a little more air in through the mouth. Open the mouth, let it out. And exhale, plant your hands out in front of you and find your way into tabletop. Knees slightly behind your hips, hands right under your shoulders. Really spread the fingers, ground down through the pinky and ring finger, lengthen through the middle finger, index finger, and thumb. And then take an inhale in, drop the belly, lift the heart, open the heart, roll the shoulders back. And exhale and reverse. Engage the core, send the center of the back high. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. And exhale, reverse. Continue to push down to the tips of the fingers, push down to the toes. At your own breath, take a few cat and cows. Moving with your breath. And I know oftentimes when I'm warming up, I start to be impatient with my body because I am desiring to be just already moving through all of those wonderful experiences of the body feeling open and the breath moving, the mind being calm. But see if you can find the pleasure in the desire of opening up through the spine. Doing something so simple as just moving with your breath. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward to plank. Exhale, floating down, chaturanga, shoulders out. Place yourself all the way down and tuck the toes. Inhale, engage the low back, lengthen the heart up. And exhale, tuck the toes. Keep that exhale going all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, engage the low back, lengthen, open the heart. And exhale all the way back, downward dog. Inhale, rolling forward. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale all the way back. Walk the hands back to your feet. Feet at hip distance apart, second toe lined up with the ankle, knee and hip on each side. Clasp opposite elbows. Put a bend in the knees, shake the head yes and no. And just hang and breathe, feeling the torso heavy, rocking from side to side, starting to wake up the hips and hamstrings. Put a little deeper bend in the knees. And start to roll up one vertebra at a time, release the hands. And close the eyes, bring the hands to heart center. A few deep breaths, feeling the spine long. Feel the width through the shoulders, width through the hips, push the palms together. There might be a part of you that is wanting to move, has that desire for the quick heartbeat, quick breath. See if you can just enjoy the desire. Enjoy right where you are. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, lead with the heart, head down toward the toes. Inhale halfway up, tuck the chin, feeling long. And exhale, release down. Inhale, bend deeply into the knees, reach the fingers up, Utkatasana. And exhale, straighten the legs, release down, lead with the heart. Put a little bend in the knees. Inhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Bring the hands to heart center. Exhale it out. Inhale, reach the arms out in the. Exhale, lead with heart, head down all the way to the toes. Inhale, coming halfway up, tuck the chin, feeling long, transfer the weight toward the heels. Exhale, release down, transfer the weight toward the balls of the feet, pull against the backs of the legs. Inhale, bend deeply into the knees, reach the fingers up, find that nice neutral spot for the tailbone, and exhale, lead with the heart down to the toes. Little bend in the knees, inhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Reach the arms out and up, keep that inhale going. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lead with the heart. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release a little deeper. Inhale, bend deeply into the knees, reach the fingers up. Exhale, lead with the heart, straighten the legs. Little bend in the knees, inhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Reach the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. This time as you inhale, bend really deep, reach the fingers up. Take a few breaths, transfer the weight more toward the heels. Find that nice neutral spot for the pelvis so it's not sticking out behind you or tucked underneath you. Get the chest a little bit higher. Plug the shoulders in, reach the fingertips long. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh. Push down with that left hand. Open the heart. Notice if the knees are coming out of alignment or trying to push in toward each other. Engage the outside of that hip. Take those same deep breaths. Then place the right hand down in between your feet. Reach those left fingers up. See how that opens up just a little farther up the spine. Take those same deep breaths. Still keep those knees in line. Bend a little deeper. And then on an inhale, come back to your pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Same deep breaths. Notice where the knees are. Notice if they're still in line. Notice if all of the weight is transferred over to that right foot. Try and pull it back so that it's evenly distributed between both feet. And feel where that twist is. It's a little closer to your lumbar spine. And then place that left hand down. Reach the right fingers up. You can feel that twist moving its way up between your shoulder blades. Notice if your knees are still in line. Take those same deep breaths. On an inhale, coming back, chair pose. And exhale, lead with the heart down to the toes. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat. And just release down, transferring the weight a little more toward the balls of the feet, but lift your toes and gently place them back down. Really release the head and torso. Let it be heavy. Class opposite elbows if you would like. And take a few deep breaths. Notice where the thoughts are. Notice where your breath is. Being right where you are. A lot of times in this stillness, we have all of these desires to move, to play with our toes, to play with our fingers, to shake our head around, just anything to let our body move. See if you can just find the pleasure in that desire and find a little stillness. Then put a nice bend in your knees. Let your chest come down to your thighs. Interlace your hands behind your back. Start to let your pinkies come down toward the earth. Start to feel that space between your shoulder blades opening all the way through the crown of your head. And then slowly start to straighten your legs to as much as you can, keeping that head heavy, the shoulders opening. And then start to bring your nose toward your left knee, letting the fingertips drift toward the right. And let your fingers drift toward the left, nose toward that right knee. And gently coming back through center. Try and keep your palms together. Get those pinkies a little closer to the earth. And then gently release the hands all the way down. Start to walk back out to downward facing dog. Bring the feet back to hip distance apart. And release the heels down. Should feel nice through the backs of the legs. Maybe bending one knee and then the other. A few deep breaths. And then inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale through and up, your back bend of choice. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward. And exhale, floating down. Inhale through and up, keep that pressure through the tips of the fingers. Exhale, floating back. Don't let the index finger and thumb start to float. Inhale, coming forward. See if you can keep the medial pressed down. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, through and up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right heel up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale that heel up and back. Be sure that right hip doesn't stack on top of the left. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, knee to nose. Softly place the right foot down near the right hand. Come up to the fingertips. Start to pull back on that right heel, forward on that left hip. Take those same deep breaths. See if you can lengthen through the crown of the head. And then float the hands. Long inhales, long exhales. And then take the fingertips out in front of you. Start to take the weight forward and up. And keep a little bend in that right knee. Be sure that the left hip doesn't stack at all on top of the right. Maybe starting to straighten that right leg. Maybe bringing your hands to heart center. Find those same deep breaths. Long inhales. Long exhales. Notice what your body is trying to do here. Seeing if it's trying to come out of a line. If it's trying to find a way around the muscles that are doing the work. See if you can still find a deeper breath. Take one more inhale in. Exhale, bend into that right knee. Send that left foot all the way back. Place that back knee down. Untuck the toes. You can make a little pillow with the left side of the mat if you would like. Bring the hands to your hips and come up. Really align the hips toward the short side of the mat. Be sure that right foot is out far enough so that when you bend down into that right knee, the right knee is right over the right heel. And then reach the fingers up. Inhale in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take that left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Push down with that right hand. Just gently opening up through the outside of that hip. Same deep breaths. And slowly unwind. Tuck the back toes. Let the mat unroll. When you feel stable here, find your way all the way up, crescent pose. Same deep breaths. Find that focal point, pull that left hip forward, right hip back, keep pulling back on the right heel, engaging the core, relax the shoulders, reach the fingertips long. And exhale, hands to heart center. Left elbow, right thigh. Just a little deeper than where we were a moment ago. And listening to your breath. Seeing how this feels. Deciding if you would like to open the arms or bind if it's in your practice. Long inhales, long exhales, wherever you are. See if you can find the pleasure and the joy in this. It's that wonderful feeling of what's happening in that hip. Remember that if it's too much, you can always back out, listening to your body. It's not about achieving that goal. It's about enjoying getting there. And slowly start to unwind. Come back into that lunge. Bring that left foot just a few inches forward. Start to straighten that right leg. Let the left toes be angled toward the front of the mat. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Keep the left fingertips down toward the earth and reach the right fingertips up. Feel nice on the outside of that hip after all that work. If you can, if that head is headed toward the left side, see if you can start to bring it back in, reaching where those right toes are pointing. Same deep breath. One more inhale in. And exhale, unwind, bend into that right knee. Send that right foot all the way back and up. Release that hip. And then find your way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, floating down, chaturanga. Inhale through and out. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale that left foot up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale that heel up and back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale that heel up. Exhale, knee to nose. Softly place the left foot down near the left hand. Find that alignment of the second toe, ankle, knee, and hip on each side. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Come up to the fingertips. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Same deep breath. Start to float the hands. Still trying to find that inhale in for 3. Exhale out for 3. Enjoying right where you are. Not worrying about where we're going. And then take the fingertips out. Weight forward and up. Keep a little bend in that left knee if you would like. Maybe straightening that leg. Maybe slowly bringing the hands to heart center. Even here, finding those long inhales and long exhales. As your body tells you that it would like to come down, that it is desirous of something a little bit easier, see if you can find pleasure in the challenge, pleasure in right where you are. Same deep breaths. And bend into that left knee. Send that right foot all the way back. A little pillow with that right side if you would like. Place that knee down. Keeping that same alignment, bring the hands to your hips. Start to send that left foot a little farther forward to make sure that when you bend into that left knee is over the left heel. And then reach the fingers up. And exhale, heart center, right elbow, left thigh. And just taking a little time to open up that left hip after spending that work. And see what happens when you bend a little deeper into that left knee. Push down with the top of the right foot. See what happens when you straighten out that left foot a little bit. See where it feels really nice to breathe into, to open that hip. And gently release. Tuck the back toes, unfold the mat. When you feel stable here, find your way up, crescent pose. Find that focal point, let your gaze soften, pull the chin in, reach the fingers up, really pull that right hip forward, but keep reaching that right heel back, keep pulling back on the left heel. Same deep breaths. One more inhale in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh. Know that that back knee is there if you need it. Whatever you had on the other side, even out the body. Those same deep breaths. Oftentimes in these deep twists, it gets harder and harder to breathe, especially down into that tight diaphragm. See if you can gently force a little extra breath. Find a little pleasure in that challenge. A little pleasure in the opening, the wringing out, the twisting out. The movement through some nerves that maybe haven't been activated for a while. So you can just breathe a little deeper into them. And slowly unwind. Tuck those back toes if they're not already. And then bring that right foot in a few inches. Start to straighten the front leg, right toes at an angle toward the front of the mat. Or maybe just staying here, pulling that left hip back is enough. Or if you'd like to open that hip a little more, right fingers down, left fingers up. Crown of the head, trying to point in the same direction as those left toes. Long inhales and long exhales, try and keep that back heel grounded. Keep pulling back on that left heel, trying to keep that left leg straight. And gently release, bend into that front leg, send that left heel back and up, release that hip. And place it down, head down through a vinyasa, moving with your breath. Inhaling up. And this time exhale back, child's pose. Knees nice and wide, big toes together. Release the forehead down. Release the hips. You can rock gently from side to side. Fingertips long. A few deep breaths. I know that oftentimes in stillness I find myself desirous of getting something done, of doing something else, and patience is actually a hard thing for me to find pleasure in. I like to think I'm a rather patient person, but it's not always the most pleasurable experience to be patient for me. It's something that I feel like I've cultivated over the years. So I'm trying to find more pleasure in the desire of doing something that I perceive as being more productive, like meditating or doing yoga or something, just Just stillness is pretty challenging for me. So as you sit and breathe and your body starts to want to move, see if you can find a little pleasure in that desire, in that want. A little pleasure in being right where you are. Taking a few deep breaths. And then slowly find your way forward to tabletop. Tuck the toes and come into plank. Bring your feet together and back behind you. On an inhale, roll onto the outside of the right foot, reach the left fingers up. Exhale, coming back through center. You can exhale all the way down to chaturanga. Inhale, roll onto the outside of the left foot, reach the right fingers up. Exhale, coming back through center, maybe all the way down, chaturanga. Inhale, roll onto the outside of the right foot, left fingers up. Exhale through center. Inhale onto the outside of the left foot, right fingers up. Exhale through center, chaturanga if you would like. Inhale, roll onto the outside of the right foot, left fingers up. Exhale through center. Inhale to the left. Exhale, move with your breath. One more time. Inhale to the outside of the right foot, left fingers up. Exhale down through center. Inhale to the outside of the left foot. And exhale through center. This time come down to your forearms. Interlace the fingers except for the pinky and ring. Pull the elbows toward each other, back towards your big toes. Engage your core. Lift the center of your back. Crown of the head long. Pull the elbows back, big toes forward. Find that little shake and quiver. Find those deep breaths. And place the hips down, place the palms down, roll the shoulders back, release the core. Well, that got warm really fast. Take a few deep breaths. And then keeping the chest floating as much as you can, start to bend into the knees, reach back for the ankles or tops of your feet, kick into your hands, roll the shoulders back. Deep breaths. Bring your knees a little closer, kick a little higher into the hands. If there's any pinching in the back of the neck, chin down towards your chest. Breathe. Keeping everything floating, start to release. Reach the toes back, the fingertips out. Long inhales, long exhales. Build a little fire, a little deeper breath. And gently release, bring the hands back to your ribs. Inhale, coming up, your back bend of choice. And exhale back, child's pose. Release the low back and core. Take a breath. Slowly start to roll up one vertebra at a time. Come seated on the heels. Make a little pillow with the mat. Place the knees down, knees at hip distance apart, lined all the way back up with your toes. You can tuck your toes if you would like to make it a little easier. Bring the hands to your hips. Start to send the hips forward. Engaging your core through this back bend so you're not just collapsing into the low back, but the core is staying engaged. Let your head fall back. Same deep breath. staying here, or maybe just taking that left hand back toward the left heel and reach the right fingertips up and back. Keep the core engaged. Don't let this just collapse into your low back. Let the core stay active, same deep breaths. Slowly bring those right fingertips forward. Reach the right hand back for the right heel. Left fingertips up and over. Still with that core engaged, still with that same deep breath. Bring those left fingertips forward. Everyone with the hands to the low back, slowly make your way back out. Gently start to place your hips back towards your heels and reach the fingertips out. We'll move very slow, release that low back. Just as gently, just as kindly, as much pleasure you can find through those sensations, start to find your way back up. Standing on your knees, you can untuck your toes this time if you would like. Start to send the hips forward. Maybe letting the head fall back, maybe deciding to just stay right here. Keep that core engaged, don't just collapse into the low back. Like you're trying to pull these low ribs in so they're not just sticking out and reaching up toward the sky. And then maybe slowly release the hands. Start to reach the fingertips forward, up, maybe just staying here. If your core is still engaged and you can still breathe, maybe reaching both fingertips back. Same deep breaths. Don't let that core collapse. Don't collapse into the low back. Long inhales, long exhales. And slowly find your way back out. Hands to the low back. Gently send your hips back towards your heels and reach the fingers out. Moving slowly, moving with control, move with your breath. Very nice. And slowly find your way up. Pull that little pillow out of your mat. Come back into tabletop. And then inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, open the heart. And exhale in reverse. Notice if there's just a little more space to move. Move with your breath. Take those long inhales and long exhales. Enjoying how the spine feels a little different now than it did the last time we were in cat and cow. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale the right heel up. This time point the toe, let it fall over to the side. But keep sinking your heart toward those left toes. Try and get that right knee a little higher. And then inhale, reach that right heel back. Exhale, bring it forward and through. Place it down in between the hands. Place that back heel down and find your way up. Warrior two. Really trying to tuck the hips under, opening the hips out to the sides. See if you can get that right knee so it's reaching straight forward, not collapsing into the left. Maybe taking the stance a little longer so you can bend a little deeper, but that right knee stays over the right heel. Fingertips out, relax the shoulders. Don't collapse into the core, but keep the core engaged, pulling in. Pull the feet toward each other, engage underneath, and same deep breaths. Take an inhale in. Exhale, elbow to thigh, left arm up and over. Inhale, heading back, peaceful warrior. Try to not put any weight in that left hand. And exhale, elbow to thigh. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, reaching back. And this time as you exhale, and take a few breaths here. So if you would like, you can place that right hand down, just seeing how that feels with the body. If it feels really nice, then maybe just staying here. Or if that shoulder's really opening up and you feel like you have this extra space, reach that left hand back, right hand under, to open even more, like you're trying to lay that spot in between your shoulder blades down on that right thigh. Same deep breaths. And then wherever you are, take your gaze down toward the earth. Reach the fingertips out in front of those toes. Bring the left toes in so you can slowly find your way up, stacking that left hip on top of the right. Maybe floating up onto those right fingertips. Maybe reaching the left fingers up. Listen to your body. Listen to your breath. Maybe trying to take the weight out of that right hand. Long inhales, long exhales. And then bend deeply into that right knee. Send that left foot all the way back. Come back into Warrior Two. And then straighten that right leg. Reach with the right fingers. Keep that right hip tucked under, left hip reaching back. And take those right fingers down. Left fingers up, pull the left ribs in. Same deep breaths. Trying to align each and every joint. Look down and notice if your head is right over your shin. One more inhale in. And exhale, release. Send that right foot back. Take an inhale in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale through and up. Exhale back, downward dog. Inhale that left heel up. Point the toe, let it fall over to the side. Few breaths, getting that knee a little higher, sinking your heart a little closer to those right toes. Try and keep your shoulders parallel to the front of your mat. And then inhale and straighten that left leg. Exhale, bring it forward and through. Prepare for Warrior Two on the other side. Same alignment, same deep breaths. Pulling the feet in toward each other. Engage the core, pelvis pulling forward. Relax the shoulders, fingertips out. Knee in alignment. Close the eyes. A few deep breaths. Take an inhale in. Exhale, left elbow, left thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale all the way back. Exhale it down. Inhale and reach. Exhale and lengthen. Inhale back one more time. And this time find your extended side angle. Listening to your body. Listening to your breath. Notice where your thoughts are. Notice where the breath is. Can you let go of any thought or worry with each exhale? Allow yourself to find a little pleasure in this work. I know the body might be doing strange things right now. If you can find enjoyment in these strange and odd sensations. Maybe letting the corners of your mouth head up towards your ears. Bring that right hand to your hip. Left fingertips out. Gaze down. Take the weight slowly forward and up. Whatever you had on the other side, find that focal point. Find your breath. Same long inhales and long exhales. Trying to align each and every joint, feeling that expansion out through your center. Take one more inhale in. Exhale, bend into that left knee. Slowly send that right foot all the way back. Warrior two. And then straighten that left leg. Reach with the left fingers. Keep that left hip tucked. Right hip reaching back. And triangle. Long inhales. Long exhales. Trying to align each and every joint, pulling those right ribs in. Still feeling the feet pulling in toward each other in those same deep breaths. And then gently release both hands down, bend into that left knee. Send that right foot back. Head down through a vinyasa. Heading back, downward facing dog. And inhale that right heel up. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Place that back knee down and tuck the toes. Walk the right toes toward the left side of the mat. Really flex those toes, place the right knee down. And really trying to send that chest out over that shin. Left knee up to the inside of that sole of the right foot if you would like. Takes a little stress out of that hip. Keep those right toes active. Start to release down, maybe making fists for pillows. Pillow with a hand turned one cheek. Start to let gravity do the work. Find those deep breaths. Allow that hip to open. Allow the heart rate to start to slow down. Breath coming long. As we start to slow down and cool down, so often the mind tries to come back in. We'll start doing strange things without realizing it. Picking the lint off of our mat, or trying to clean our fingernail. Not that these are necessarily terrible things, but perhaps recognizing them as an avoidance of just being right here, and just being in this stillness, finding pleasure in perceivably nothing. We're just laying on the ground, letting our hip release. See if you can allow yourself to find a little deeper breath, find a little extra release. Slowly come up to your hands. Tuck those left toes all the way back. Send that right foot back as you're ready. Release the hip however you would like. And bring that left heel up and through. Right knee down, walk those left toes over. And find your way to that other side. Knee up to the sole of that foot if you would like. Reach the chest long, crown of the head long, long through the torso. The closer your toes are to the front of the mat, the more that you'll feel that opening in the hips. And then allow yourself a little time for a nice deep breath. Letting the heart rate slow. Letting the breath come easy. We so often get so focused on the goals of our desires that we get lost in the work, the effort, the struggle, trying so hard. See if you can allow yourself to feel these sensations through that hip. Find pleasure in the desire of being somewhere else, of coming out of this stretch, of having a more open hip, but don't be focused on the goal, don't be focused on where we're going, but just focused on where you are right now. And find a little pleasure. Slowly come up to your hands. Tuck those right toes all the way back. Gently send that left foot back. Release that hip however you would like. One final downward facing dog. And then find your way forward to plank and down to your back. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Right hand to the heart, left hand to the diaphragm. Feeling that heart rate slowing down with the right hand. Breathing deep into that left hand. listening to your breath, decide to stay right here, or if you would like to invert, knees together, hands down, by your sides, bring the knees into your chest and the toes up over your head. Maybe just working on getting those toes down on the earth, feeling that nice opening through the back. Or get the hands high up on the back, elbows toward each other, toes up toward the sky. If you're coming into shoulder stand, just be sure that the shoulder blades are tucking toward each other, so all the weight is in the elbows and shoulders, not in the neck. And try and get each and every vertebra up off the mat. Same long inhales and long exhales. If you've inverted, slowly find your way back out. And then everyone pull your knees up into your chest and rock from side to side. If you'd like to grab a happy baby, hands to the elbows on the insides of the knees, hands to the outsides of the feet. Knees toward the outside of your shoulders. And then hold the knees into your chest. And place the heels down, hip distance apart. Push the heels down, lift the hips up. Little counter pose if you came in through plow and bridge. And as you're ready, come up to the balls of the feet. Roll down one vertebra at a time. Pull that right knee up into your chest. Lengthen that left leg out. Ground it down. Hold that right knee over the body with the left hand. Release the right hand out. Feel that right shoulder heavy, sinking down. Feel that nice, deep, long twist. And turn your gaze toward the right if you would like to complete the twist all the way up and down the spine. Finding those same deep breaths. With each exhale, seeing if you can melt a little deeper. Let go of any thoughts, worries, stresses, remnants of resistance. Letting yourself just breathe. And slowly coming back through center, lengthen that right leg out, pull that left knee in, grab onto the left knee with the right hand, pull it over the body. Turning the gaze to the left if you would like, feeling that long twist through the whole spine. Feeling the body letting go, the breath coming easy and long. The thoughts fluttering just out of reach. No need to grab on to any of them. Just letting yourself be with your breath. No worries about where you're going. I'll all be waiting for you in a few moments after this time in Shavasana. So as you slowly come back through center and lengthen that left leg out, let go of any last worries or stresses or thoughts. Let yourself just find the pleasure in this moment of stillness, of quiet. All of the things that you need to take care of and do will be waiting for you. Give yourself a little break, a little respite from them all. Allowing your awareness to be in your breath, to be in all of that tingling through your whole nervous system. And feel all of those sensations, invite all of those sensations in. Find the pleasure in activating those nerves that have maybe laid dormant for a while. Letting them find a home, find space, find healing. Feeling that tingling from head to toe. And then start to feel the pressure from the ground underneath you, pushing against all of the spots of the body that are connected to the earth, and feel each of those spots getting heavier, sinking down. And feel all the spots of the body, of the skin that are touching the air, and feel and begin to relax, the muscles release, and feel them getting lighter, like they're floating above this heavy surface that is grounding you down. And allow your breath, your awareness to be in that space in between. Allowing your breath with ease, with kindness, patience, and pleasure in this moment. Allowing yourself just to be. Slowly find your way back. Notice how you're breathing. Listening to that breath, decide if you would like to stay here or start to activate the body however it feels natural. Moving through the toes and fingers, maybe stretching the arms up above you, or just staying heavy on your mat. Keeping the eyes softly shut wherever you are, deciding to stay laying down in that wonderful corpse pose, or find your way back to seated. And just notice if the nervous system is a little calmer. If the breath is coming a little easier. If the thoughts seem just a little bit further apart.